Alright, so once again, hello guys and welcome back to another of our amazing courses about the deep web. So in today's class, we are gonna talk about a very interesting subject, which is it safe to buy things on the dark web? So before we start, I'd like to make a quick disclaimer. So everything that you are going to learn in this class is absolutely educational. So everything is really for education and well, you don't really have to do it. It's just, for education. All right. So there are two types of web. You should know it until now. You have the surface web and the deep/dark web. Um, when you're buying something on the surface web, let's say you're buying, I don't know, a computer on Amazon. Let's say the computer comes at your place and the computer is not working, or the computer just never comes at your place. Well, it's very simple for you to call Amazon, explain them the problems, and you'll receive a complete refund for because you have been frauded or because the product didn't work. So that's a way that this can work. Or you can simply call your credit card provider and they will just block the transaction because a fraud have happened. So this is one way that you can do things on the surface web. On the dark web is a bit more. It's a bit more different because everyone is anonymous. So everything that's happening, all the transactions, all the sellers, or all the buyers, are all anonymous. No one knows with who he is dealing. So the problem here is that if, for example, you are making a purchase, let's say you're buying a television on the deep web. Let's say you want to be anonymous and you decide to buy a television on the deep web, um, and the television doesn't work well. Well, you don't really have no way to find out the seller or block the transaction or whatever, because as the second that you transfer the money to the seller, well, you will not hear from him after that. It's impossible because you can't really find him. You can't really, because there is no middleman when you're dealing with cryptocurrency. It's buyer to seller, so you transfer the money to the seller, or you're the seller, the buyer transfers you the money, you transfer him the product, but there is no middleman. So in this case, you have to trust the seller who is in front of you, even if he's anonymous. So um, now that you know all this and you know one of the dangers of dealing on the deep web, the first thing we are gonna talk about here is if it's safe. But the first way to know if it's safe, well, it's gonna be by asking yourself what you are looking for on the deep web. Um, Everything depends of the type of product that you want. Let's say you want to buy something that exists on the clear web. Let's say you want to buy a television. You're getting on a website with with a lot of, I don't know, electronic stuff, and you have one seller that has a lot of reviews, and well, it's very cool. So you buy a television from him. There is more chances that this guy, well, is giving a good service, since he has a lot of reviews, since he has a good product, than the other guy who sells, I don't know which type of product, um, that maybe doesn't have a quality in this product and has no reviews or one-star review. So it really works the same way as the surface web. But once again, it really depends what you are looking for. If you're looking for some other type of things, um, well, I'm not a specialist in those types of things. Once again, as I said, this course is really for educational purposes. So if you're looking for those types of things, for other types of things, well, I can't really help you with that. Second thing, where you are looking for it. So once again, it's the same thing as on the surface web. When you are buying products from the deep web, let's say your main goal is just to remain anonymous. It will depend where you're looking for your product. Let's say once again you want to buy a television on the deep web. Uh, Everything will. Let's say on the surface web you want to buy this television. If you want to buy this television on the surface web, you will go on a website that has a certain reputation. So you will go, let's say, for example, on Amazon, or you'll go on eBay, or on a e-commerce that has a certain reputation of selling good products, and that have traffic and reviews, because you want to be sure that you will receive the product. It's the same thing on the deep web. So if you're looking for your television on some random website, it's maybe not the place to look for this kind of product. If you're going instead in a good marketplace that looks good, where you see that there's a lot of traffic, that people are buying and the product has a lot of reviews, well, you have more chances to receive your product there than from some sketchy website. Last thing, every website on the deep web that asks you for your personal information or your credit card or anything else than cryptocurrency is, well, you have 99.99% chances that they try to just steal your information. So never, never, never deal with those types of websites, because the deep web or the dark web are two places where everyone wants to remain anonymous. If a website asks you for your credit card info, asks you for your PayPal or whatever type of payment information they ask you for, it's gonna be a scam. So just stay away from those types of websites. If something is too good to be true, well, it's maybe too good to be true. Like if you see, let's say, for example, a cell phone for the equivalent of $100, an iPhone X for the equivalent of $100 in Bitcoins on some website, well, it's probably a scam. So be very, very careful with those type of things. So as I said, guys, first thing, you want to identify what you're looking for, what you want to buy. Once again, if you're looking, let's say, for some electronic stuff or some things that exist on the surface web and you want to buy them simply anonymously on the deep web, it's possible. There are marketplaces for this. Then you want to find out those marketplaces. We will look at some of them in our next class. And finally, never use websites that use anything else than cryptocurrency, because those websites only try to steal your information. And you will not remain anonymous, so there is no point of using those types of websites, because in the end you could just buy your product on the surface web. So that's it for this course, guys, and see you all in our next class.